Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Sammy33 coming back. Royal Rumble recap, essentially. Grades, reaction to overall the pay per view. Wanted to do this last night. Things didn't work out the way I planned. The power going out definitely was unplanned. Me falling asleep also was unplanned. But I got a chance to rewatch some things this morning, early afternoon, and kind of. I feel like sometimes having the instant reaction isn't great because you feel a certain way. As with most things, if you kind of let it settle for a little bit, kind of just take it all in and come back for that, kind of go to sleep on it essentially and come back that second time to assess things. I feel like feel a little more, you get a better outlook, I guess is the way we'll put it. We'll take it in bits here. This video may be a little bit long. I'll do my best. I'll try not to go too crazy. So the plan is kind of go over each match a little bit. The winner, what I thought of the match, storyline wise, even go into that a little bit and then give a grade. And then at the end, I'll give the three highlights, three lowlights of the show. Won't talk about too much where they go from here. I'll get to do that going forward because it's officially on the road to WrestleMania now. So first match, get to get hammer turned here. First match here, we got Shorty G versus Sheamus, kickoff show. I was kind of wondering, like, what would go on a kickoff show? Like, it's so long. What could you possibly put on there? I feel bad for Sheamus. He's one of my favorites of the last decade. I almost wish they would have just kept the match for SmackDown. It would have had a bigger impact, but it is what it is. I'm pretty sure we'll see him. I don't want to say there will be a rematch, but I'm sure Sheamus will be in action soon enough. I said it was going to be a squash match. It went maybe a little longer than I thought it was, but ultimately it was what it was. Sheamus is just too big. If you're going to build him up to be the intimidating force that the Celtic Warrior is, he's going to dominate. He's got the size, some new moves from Sheamus, which is kind of nice. But at the end, Gable put up a decent fight. It was a solid match, but we all knew Sheamus was going to win. You're not going to go through all of these promos to have him come back and lose. No offense, Shorty G, good guy and all, but that definitely was not going to happen. If we graded out of 5 stars, let's say, I guess I'll go on a grade on a grading curve. That's a little bit easier. I gave it a B. New offense from Sheamus. Match had a little bit of a different flow than what I'm used to with him, which was nice. You kind of felt the underdog role. You never really thought that he was going to win, but it played to Shorty's character, so I felt like it worked for both of them. Sheamus gets the win. Gable played the underdog role really well in the match, but at the end, it's to build Sheamus to what we don't know. We'll see going forward. The solid match to start the festivities off tonight. We have the second match. Just scrolling down here. Our United States Championship match. Kind of disappointed because I wanted this to be on. I wanted this to be on the card. I'm a big fan of Andrade, but you have to find space to fill. I was actually kind of surprised by this match. It didn't hit me like I thought that they were going to have great chemistry in the ring. I really, really did. At no point in the match did I really feel like Andrade was going to lose, which is kind of weird because you expect in the title match, you kind of get those near falls and it kind of tugs at the strings. Never felt with this match at all. I felt like there was just no doubt he was going to win. It's not even because he won the title recently. It's just the way the match went, like just the flow. Me and my friends were talking about it. He just never felt like he was really a threat to Andrade, which is unfortunate because I think that the challenger is going to be maybe not a major star, but I think he can be a very solid mid-card guy for Raw. And it just didn't connect with me. I didn't think it was a terrible match, but I just felt like it just didn't connect with me. So I ended up giving that match a C. Solid, but I guess with it being on the kickoff show, I didn't feel as bad. If it had been on a main card, I might have felt a little worse about it. I just don't know what to say about that match. I don't know. I was expecting more. I guess that's the only thing I can feel about them. I've seen them both work so well. challenger with AJ Andrade, recently with Rey, but obviously a lot of his work in NXT and since he's come up to the quote unquote main roster. So then we have where things kick off. So start off the show with Corbin and Reigns in the Falls Count Anywhere match. First of all, it was no surprise that Corbin at some point was going to have Roode and Ziggler come. You just knew it was coming. You just didn't know when. Reigns dominated, and them showing the fact that they didn't go all the way back through the rivalry. They specifically made a point to show the dog food segment on SmackDown, and this cut to looking at Reigns' face, like you knew this was serious business, and man, he was giving it to Corbin. The Usos get involved too. You have some nice spots there. The dive, it felt like you knew it was going to happen. The heel doing heelish things to help give him the advantage, and then the bloodline coming out even the odds to have their moment, and especially since the Usos weren't in the Rumble. That was nice to see them be able to just come out and have a little bit of a moment on the show. The one thing I was disappointed about, Falls Count Anywhere match, and he really went out of his way to take him around that. When I say him, Reigns taking the King around the arena and just beat the hell out of him. The porta potty moment was pretty hilarious. I was kind of hoping that there was water in it so you could see him coming out and all that stuff, but it is what it is. Still, entertaining moment. Wanted a trash can. That was like the one thing I wanted so much was the trash can, and we didn't get that, and it's totally fine. But I love the match. Uh, it was what it was supposed to be. Reigns dominated enough. You had the heel getting the upper hand with the help, even out the odds. He had his moments in the match, hit a couple of moves, but really it was Reigns getting his retribution. He wins. He wins the feud, and you look at, hey, he's going on to the Rumble. Maybe they meet again in the match, but he gets that little bump there from the win, and I don't know if the feud's over. I can't tell if the feud's over. Like, I thought it might be since they didn't really interact in the Rumble, which we'll get to later. But all in all, I thought it was a good match, especially to kick off the actual card too. I actually gave that a B plus. I was kind of teetering about with an A minus, but I thought it was paced really well. Reigns looked good. Corbin as a heel still looked good to me, but he got what he deserved, and we all knew it was ultimately coming. We just didn't know when. This was a great time for it. Good win for Reigns. Proper heat for Corbin, as he should get. And we move on. So then we have the first Rumble match. And I will go back to what I said earlier. So far on my picks, I'm right. So go back to my pick from the preview video. I said that I had Charlotte winning. I said I had Shayna winning if she was in. That was my pick. And if she wasn't in, of the confirmed wrestlers in the match, I could only go with Charlotte because I just didn't feel anyone else in the women's division right now is, I don't want to say worthy of the bump. You can always make them worthy because you can build them properly, but just with the momentum going into the Royal Rumble, I didn't feel like anyone else was really deserving of that spot. And let's be honest, Charlotte, I know she's had the belt a billion times. It feels like short reigns, long reigns, doesn't matter. At some point, she was going to win the Rumble. The greatest superstars in the history of the WWE, WWF, they won the Rumble. Austin, Rock, Triple H. I mean, Orton multiple times, Reigns, Rollins. It's gonna happen. It's bound to happen. Flair. Like, this is just what the Royal Rumble does. It's not always to build new stars. You also have to remember this is kicking off the road to WrestleMania, the showcase of the Immortals, the best of the best. You can use the Royal Rumble to elevate a star that you have now to help build that momentum going into the Rumble for a championship match. So, it started out good. Well, I will say one thing. I was, Alexa first. I'm like, great, she's probably going to go out early. Bianca comes out next. I'm like, wow. Okay, wasn't expecting that. You knew some NXT stars would be there for sure, but I just wasn't expecting that early. And I'll tell you, Bianca, I'm gonna get back to it later for my 3 stars, the MVPs, or if you want to call it the hockey stars, whatever. Bianca, amazing performance in the Rumble, lasted a long time. When she was eliminated by Charlotte, like it tugged at the strings. Like, did I think she would win? No, but it hurt to see her get eliminated because she had a great showing in the Rumble. I thought it was a really solid match all the way around. I, as you're getting closer to the end, I feel like every Rumble I watch, especially as I get older, I try to keep tabs on who's in and who's left. Like who potentially could be there, who is confirmed that wasn't, hasn't came out yet, and what's going on. So I'm thinking about the match. You had the moment with Lana and Liv. I mean, that was expected. Pretty hilarious, Lana, coming out, trolling the crowd, getting the heat, and then getting eliminated by Liv. Perfect. And then eliminating Liv. And then obviously we know that storyline's never going to end. It's going to go into Mania. I just believe it's going to go into Mania. How could it not? And they have their moment. The one thing that I was surprised didn't happen is Dakota and her little arch nemesis now. If they could have had a moment in the Rumble, but they didn't. Nah, you can't get everything you want, right? So, Charlotte comes in the middle. You have Beth Phoenix, that, a nice pop there. Molly Holly, nice pop there. Same for Kelly Kelly. Naomi returning. I tried to stay away from the dirt sheets as much as possible, so I was pretty pumped for that. She had a good showing in the Rumble as well. The creativity, too, was pretty nice. Speaking of creativity, Otis, like, if you ever need someone to ride hard for you, that's the dude right there. When Mandy was getting eliminated, I didn't even see. I'm like, dang, Mandy's gone. And then, hear the crowd cheer, and then you see Otis just right there, like, just, you can't help but laugh at stuff like that. But not everything was a hit. Um, Obviously, at the end, entry number 29, Santina. Maybe 5 years ago, that would have hit a little bit better. This year, it just was kind of like, when you heard the music, I just put my head down, and even my friends that they don't watch wrestling as much, they know who Santino is, and they're like, oh, are you serious right now? It feels bad because, I know it's supposed to be a humor spot, but you just feel sometimes in those moments, there's someone else out there that could have had that moment. I mean, I'm assuming Sasha was hurt. It was kind of a surprise not to see her in the match, but you're just assuming she could have came out and gave something. Someone else on the NXT roster could have came out and gave you something. It felt like a wasted moment, but I felt that the way it ended was really good. Shayna coming in at number 30 got a pop from the crowd. I don't feel like a lot of people may have been expecting it, and you kind of look as you get closer to the end, okay, who's coming out last? And she comes in, she had a really great showing. I like the way that it ended because if you think about it, Shayna is built to be just like a destroyer. And you could almost look at it like her inexperience cost her against Charlotte, so it can help kind of build her to become even more of the monster than she already is. Charlotte winning, I have no problem with it. I wanted Shayna to win for obvious reasons, kind of looking big picture. WrestleMania, WrestleMania can be built in a lot of different ways, but I thought it'd be pretty cool for Shayna to win and then obviously pick the match against Becky. I thought that would be a nice way of setting that up. Don't know what happens. We'll see. Um, Beth eliminating Natalya was great, and Beth also gets a gold star for that match as well, because everyone saw the blood in the back of her head and her hair, and she's a trooper. She just kept going, and yeah, when she eliminated Natalya, I was worried that Natalya eliminated her before, but it's just crazy. They worked together for so much in the match, and it's like just instant, just turn, boom, done. And she had a good run in the Rumble as well, but yeah, it was a really solid match. Honestly, I give that an A. I can't give it an A plus. The Santina moment kind of took it away a little bit, and I felt like there may have been a few missed opportunities to have interactions with superstars, but all in all, no problem with Charlotte winning. We'll see who she picks, whether she does it, tonight or if she does it later on, whatever. But I thought it was a really solid match.